would be able to completely, you know what I'm saying, like speak on that. And another brother, you know what I'm saying, my man Reese, you know what I'm saying, Baba Reese would be very versed and capable of speaking on those things with the Islam, right?
So growing up in your household, what was the dominant belief system? Because I know, you know, you got Rastafari right now, you bringing up the Moors, so that's dealing with Islam. So what's the dominant belief system growing up in your household in Jamaica at this time?
So I gotta keep it all the way a buck with you, straight up a Billy Buck. It of course, even in the islands at the time, you know, Jesus, right? Like I know y'all said Shango, right? All shout out to Shango, all respect due to Shango,
yeah.
what have you. But remember, the colonial acts, it was so heavy that, you know, when you talk about like Catholicism, you're talking about the one religious sect or fraction in the world globally that spent the most money.
Yes,
Nobody
sir.
spent more money than the V, than the big V. You know who the V is, right?
Yeah. Valley, yeah.
Right. Nobody spent more money than them to spread the gospel, you know, the gospel as they know it. Nobody. So, you know, we weren't immune to that. You feel me? Like, so in our household, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, grandma going to church and all that. Like, of course, you know what I'm saying? That, and I attribute that to, obviously, when you read that book, right? So many things in that book, it relates, it strikes a chord. And then when you look at the story of Yeshua, right? You look at Yeshua's story, and it's like, I mean, Yeshua really didn't do nothing bad to nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeshua wasn't, he wasn't molesting nobody. He wasn't hiding behind, you know, his gospel. He was transparent for the most part. You know, I know there's things that are written where it's like he had another wife, you know, Sophia or Mary Magdalene, and there were other things going on. There's all these kinds of other stuff. But for the most part, I get it. I get it how Yeshua is just blameless. And when you look at the avatar of Yeshua and I would say your archetype, the archetype, Yeshua,
and
the archetype, and you know what I'm saying? It's something that there's no way around what happened and what was written so long ago, and the story, you know, the crucifixion, the way that all that went down. The people want Barabbas, yo. They don't want the creator. They don't want the creator's son. You know what I'm saying? They want Barabbas.
Right.
And, you know, when you look at these things, and then you even look at how the world is developing now, and you like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, who could have known? And I have a theory about that, where like the fallen, you know, these fallen angels, I have a theory about how this is a school, and the fallen angels, while they play, they have what I would say, they're multitasking, because while they know the word better than any of us, right? And I'm not just saying this word, but I'm talking about all the words. I'm talking about Buddhism, the Bhagavad Gita, the Hinduism, the Big V going on, the Catholicism and all its different sects and variations. Even when you're stepping over there down to Confucianism and going into the I Ching and going into you know, what's going on in the Far East, and then going down into South America and going down into you know, all the regions of the planet. You know, even dealing with the Greeks and dealing with going over there into you know, the Samoans and the, you know, the people, that Polynesian
Canibus, you're Canibus, man. You're a rapper. What are you doing on all this? Like, what's come on, like what's really going on, Canibus?
I feel you.
No, I'm saying, no, I'm just saying. You see how they box us in. You're talking about the Chinese I Ching. Like this is not something
Yes.
that the average
Right.
rapper
Right.
is familiar
Right.
with. So we gonna touch on all of that. But before we about to go to break. Before we go to break,
Okay.
I just want to say this, right? Because even dealing with your ancestors that was dropped off in Jamaica, this rebellious mindset, this
Yes.
willpower to never give up, because you just really put it into perspective,
Strong.
the mentality of what's coming out of Jamaica. And when I think about Garvey, I think about you, because Garvey said, "Teach the baby science," right? And a lot
Right.
of your lyrics is centered around science, scientia, the aspect of knowing. So
Right.
to me, you're carrying on that tradition of that mindset, that rebellious mindset. And so, like I said, before we go to break, I just want to
And studying.
and studying.
And study. I mean, this brother is he's a student.
He's a student, so no
I mean,
doubt.
you listening to him, he's done his research, he's done his due diligence
And
and continuing it.
that's what leads me to, because I really want to understand something, because I didn't have my biological father in the house with me. I had my stepfather, who I love dearly, and
Yeah.
he's from Jamaica. So I'm very familiar with
Mm.
I'm very
Mm.
familiar with this energy. So you
Mm.
just helped me understand my own
Yo,
father.
them niggas, yo,
Yeah,
they whoop ass, don't
They
they? They're
they
so rough. They're such a rough peoples, man.
they
Jesus Christ.
right, yes.
Yo.
But they real. They
Yo, it's such a rough upbringing coming up,
right.
like being raised by them, man.
Yes.
Yo, dog.
But as you get older, right, you appreciate it. You love them for who they
Yeah,
are, because
Yeah.
it's a certain
yeah.
purity about them. So I want to ask you about your
Yes.
father real quick before you go to break. Mr. Basil Shotgun Williams. Now, he was a legendary cricketer. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
how did was your father being present, not just being present, but having a certain kind of popularity, a certain kind of image? How did that affect you as a young boy, seeing your father being revered like that?
So, um, of course, early, early on in our youth,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way that we could understand. You know, you're talking about an island where opportunity
Mm.
was like the big deal. Like to even have opportunity
Ooh,
was the big deal. Not
wow,
you
When you say
education was an
opportunity,
opportunity.
wow.
Yeah, education was an opportunity.
oh, okay,
The
opportunity for
Everything
anything
that
really.
right.
was the yeah, anything that had value, it
Wow.
was an opportunity.
Mm.
It wasn't like, no disrespect to the states and
Yeah.
how, how it was started up here. But in the very beginning, I'm sure when they touched ground and touched soil here, starting from scratch, it
Mm-hmm.
had to have been the same. It had to have been the same kind of, damn, we got to start from scratch. Yes, you got to
Right.
start from scratch. But being, when you're dealing with a first world country and a third world country, so many of the European elites, they wanted to live here as opposed to in the third world country, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course, I got my own feelings about, people in Jamaica and the island, they wanted their independence, like how Haiti had gained their independence,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes,
And, I
yes.
got my own thoughts about that and how, you know, right, you want your independence, but you know, people gonna get vexed. They're gonna say what they want, but you know what I mean? Like
Say it, man.
the
Say it. Yeah.
crown, the crown. Somebody got to show me what country is not better off with the crown. Like, I'm
Ooh,
not talking about now.
man.
I'm
That's
talking
deep.
about in the education,
That's deep, man.
the finances, the resources. Show me what country
Yeah.
was run by the crown or was a colonialist territory that is not better off now or wasn't better off then. Like just show
Mm,
me. Like just show me. And
Mm.
instead of
mm.
getting into this thing where people start to talk about who's controlling you and with the mind control and all this stuff. I mean, it's understood when you get to a certain age, it's understood that we're all under goddamn mind control.
Right,
All of
right,
us.
right.
So who's more sophisticated with the mind control and
Mm.
somewhat giving you opportunity to do? Yes.